Hey everyone, we're back with the Great Ace Attorney, and the title screen change. That's actually pretty cool. I don't think any of the past games did that, or at least I don't remember it doing that. I wonder if it's just always the room you're in, or if it's a case-by-case basis, or what. Anyway, should we look our... Wait, where'd the dude go? I saved. Yeah, I saved. Back. There he is. Okay, I figured talk to him first, then go examining stuff. Great detective. So you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I hate saying that. I see you're German? Sherlock, was it? No, I have no her. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Schmomes. I hate it. You're gonna know all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Grant's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. Never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Is especially the right word there? Shouldn't it be like specifically? Rather? Or a similar word? Nah, who cares? Oh yes, here it is. The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. You've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks a lot to that publication. I'm fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really, can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Have you seen his goggles? Goggles like that have to be taken seriously. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of the muscle. Okay, Apollo. A slight inclination of the posture. Yo, it would be hype if you had the bracelet though. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trend logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I've returned both for observation and for deduction. And fame! That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I don't know the German pronunciation of her. Is it hair? Like, is it closer to that? Basil was death. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in its most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. So I'm gonna guess that actually it's Wilson, who is a lolly, I'm like 90% sure, is actually the one who solves all the cases, and Schmalms just gets all the credit for it. I see. Other words. I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. I concealed myself among their number, getting entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Sherlock Holmes, was on board. The handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! They do seem to fit him pretty well. You should keep them. Very moment I laid eyes on the scene. I mean, it would be convenient for, like, you know, the third case when he gets accused of murder or whatever, you know, you'd already have him on. 2 facts are immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? 2 facts. Your deduction. Ah, come on, not more dialogue. Mr. Schmalms, tell us, please. What 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. What were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from the mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian, killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Schmalms. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Tabapub. Oh, that is Russian word for wardrobe. Oh, so I guess the killer had to have known about it, since obviously the killer wrote this. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma is Russian, was he? Initially considered Guard Rob, maybe the name of a killer. Certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there, at least. We found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quito! I found you! The renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? Everyone's Russian. We're Russian to get to the truth of this. Yeah. I observe that you're wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you're acquainted. If my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. School uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. Did Russians wear something similar to... I don't know. Take a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Like, I don't know if he's a lot wrong or just a little wrong. This... See, he's sleeping, his eyes are closed. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, no, you see what happened, actually. He felt guilty. He had been taking the bed the whole time, so he gave the bed to Yosuke, but he forgot to tell him. He fell asleep on the floor, and they found him, and they're like, oh no, he's dead, but no, he was sleeping. You know how some people sleep talk? He was sleep writing. Yes, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered in the court record. Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink. Can I ask you something, Mr. Schmalms? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Oh yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Do you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, you think? Oh no, man. Certainly, if it interests you. I mean, I'm not Russian. I don't speak Russian. Your deduction just now being like 5 minutes ago. But the thing you concluded about me, I mean. Oh, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it's the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Oh yes, the more sordid details. The fairly commonplace deduction, of course. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, wait, that is like mystery novel reasoning. It's like a, not quite mystery novel. It's like when you're reading more of a commonplace mystery. Like lots of light novels do this, right? They'll give you a little foreshadow, like this one isn't even a mystery, but the thing that really pops into mind, this is spoilers, by the way, for I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. So spoilers for that. Spoilers. I read the novel like, before the movie came out, so a long time ago. Like halfway through the book, main character's just watching the news, and there's, you know, I'm not gonna spoil it. On the news is a thing. He's like, oh, that's weird, and then the news report ends up being very relevant later on in the story, and it's like, oh, that's foreshadowing. It's classic, you know, throwaway newspaper, super relevant to the ending of the story kind of thing. Classic. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday. Last night, the young Russian was murdered. He was Kazuma Russian. Sounds like Mr. Schmaltz has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. There's a simple active reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you! Villain Bolshevik. Villain. Oh my god. No, how can it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. He shaved the beard. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. I hope that everyone else in the story takes this guy seriously except for Yunosuke. That would be lovely. Need I say more? Well, it's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? Ah, yes. Journalists clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There could be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? What about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in this article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place, nobody knows. They just bring it up on the news sometimes. To take the paper for yourself, the little memento of this great deduction. Thank you. I absorbed all that is interesting to me within its pages. See no rubbish bin nearby. I'm the rubbish bin. Yeah, so I assume he's going to be relevant. And you might find the article on the back of the page of interest as well. Wait, no. Princess Lady. This is interesting. Found something relevant, Naruto? Well, no, I mean, I think it might be interesting. Can't read a single word, I'm afraid. Or can I? Look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? Okay, so I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we can't read it either. She's very pretty, isn't she? Suppose you must enjoy articles like this, or everyone loves articles about Russian princesses. It could be Anastasia, maybe it's her, even though the star is still alive. But you know, don't worry about it. I don't know. Can't make any sense of it. Glad you noticed this article. The was it the October Revolution where they kind of overthrew him? But it took place in November, actually. I think it was. That was like in what, 19? I'm gonna guess 1913. 1914. Hold on, I'm looking it up. October Revolution. 1917. That's my first guess, but then because I was reading a story that had the Tokyo earthquake in it, which was in 1917. So I was like, no, I'm just thinking of the Tokyo earthquake, or like the Great Kanto earthquake or something. I don't know. I read two manga about, well, a manga and a manhwa about in a quick succession, which is weird. So I read one, you know, just the Tokyo earthquake happens. It's a Japanese manga, right? I looked at the Wikipedia page, And like the second or third paragraph mentions how a lot that led to an event where they killed like a lot of the Korean residents in Tokyo because, you know, messed up stuff happened back then, right? And then I was like, oh wow, that's messed up. I've never heard of that. And then I was reading a manhwa, which is, you know, Korean, and that happens. I'm like, oh my god, my life, like I invented that in my head, and so that showed up. There's a name for when that kind of thing happens. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Schmalms. Because, you know, you're not supposed to read it when he's right in front of you. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, a Miss Dancer was reported missing. She's, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. I'm trying to think of the pun. The only thing I can think of is Pavlov, you know, the dog. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? Here, the young woman was in a costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing a diamond tiara, you see pictured, she's worth some 20,000 rubles. How much is a ruble? Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea. But sure, it's be an unbelievable sum of money. Actually, it's like 20 bucks. Zato's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. Tiara is the property of the Novovik Ballet. Would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Okay. Oh, okay. Medical ballerina is entering the courtyard. Usually you don't get a new thing about that. You just, you know how to present the thing and be like, oh, what's this have to do with the case, Mr. Naruhodo? And I'm like, I'll tell you in a minute. On the back, kiss your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you. You may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. Couldn't hope to read it. Plus, it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Or were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? I guess the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Okay, look, Naruhodo, you can read Japanese. Tell me what that says. You said the victim was engaging in penning some text. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his. Oh, come on! Could upset people. And people know karate. Tragic! Something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. You're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? Oh, it's not comedic if, you know, it's not the protagonist. Sorry, Naruhodo-san, what on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, so the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but that you knew Japanese. Smattering, dear boy, smattering. Yeah, he gave up when kanji got involved. Sayonara banzai mikado. Nado. Like, goodbye? Type of tree? I don't know what mikado is. I don't know what nado is. Just you're suitably impressed. I've heard mikado, I don't know what it is though. It sounds familiar. You know, that's probably the name of an anime character, actually. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. I want to protect that smile. What was all this showing off about before then? You'd be so kind as to show me? Be happy to read it to you, Mr. Oh, come on! Much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. Hear a faint whistling sound. Whistling sound? Like gas being emitted into the room. These are very deep waters. Pray go on. Second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. Looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What on earth does that mean? That can't be relevant. I have no idea. Never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? Mayor is presumably referring to the lattice there in the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. It's the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary is entered into the court record. It would be a very boring closed room, though, if no one actually entered the room. And, you know, it's just like a gas attack or whatever. That's not an Ace Attorney case, right? Like someone, you know, put gas into the vent that killed him, the end. That's boring. So I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, tend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. You think perhaps we could go with you? No, that'd be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? No point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? No recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. Didn't he though? You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Yeah, okay. Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I have no cause to say such a thing. Actually, Mr. Schmones, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Oh, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what, you're looking at my knees before? The great detective you are. He's got criminal knees. Well, anyways, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. It's true, once you've been accused of murder in a mystery novel, you have to admit it. I was just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. Sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Now you're Hodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Let's go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Oh, do not karate chop them off. That is... Kazuma spent his dying moment struggling to leave us a clue? You're willing to give up? She suddenly believes in me a lot now. Just gonna roll over and accept your fate? You give me any choice in the rolling over part? Gotta finish up in here though. We still have some investigation to finish off in. Oh, yep, don't we? Carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. Situation doesn't look good for me. Still things I can do to help myself. I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. Bring the real culprit to justice. Okay, what do we have left? We're done. We haven't done the suitcase. Very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Oh, it's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. Brought on board inside that case. Yes, it says this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. Turned over and over and over. I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, less painful than a suicidal takedown. Okay, not relevant. What's up with this? Fell knocked over. Books have fallen over on the shelf, look. They're all toppled the same way. Yeah, I mean, there does seem to be signs of a conflict. Or the boat just got... There's a big wave. Statue of some god of the sea? It's fallen over. What, is that Poseidon or someone? I can't tell. It's just that the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. Wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma doing his morning sword training. Yeah, probably, yeah. I seriously doubt it. And perhaps... It was you, Naruto, in a fit of rage. I didn't bother leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. The way these things have been thrown about, anything to do with the case, I wonder. I'll just set everything straight again. I'd like to see a mess. Yeah, let's tamper with the crime scene. Oh. I didn't mean to click there. Is there rules of passage for travel aboard the... How do you... Oh, there's English below. Okay. The SS Bura. Central list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Ignore the sword. What? Are you staring at me? He's the pet? So I was just thinking, more of a dangerous object or a pet? Can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, wasn't supposed to be in here. What about this thing? What do you think this is? It's like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it broken clean in two. Glass is such a beautiful color. It's like a cute little Netsuke? Fastener from a kimono outfit. I don't know what a Netsuke is. Not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he? Kinda looks like half of a bell. The mic beside it? What is it, I wonder? But a brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. Color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Oh, what? Sword. Kazuma summon's precious sword. Never went anywhere without it. He was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Plus, that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. Not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Maybe he can talk to me through the sword. You know, Mia, you know... Like, what if Kazuma possesses Suzan? Oh, that'd be cool. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. Really tasty. Okay. Very delicious, wasn't it? But, do you eat it on the floor here? Not a dog. Get at the table, of course. Begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? Oh, that's right. We didn't touch it. But all the more for me. So maybe that's... Maybe it was poisoned, right? Or like, not even poisoned, like sleeping drugged. Although I don't get why would they want to just poison him, right? But they knew, but I don't even know what's going on yet. Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on the earth with this... On this earth with an empty belly? Poor guy. It's too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience, an achy stomach. Examine the table? Oh, I should probably use WASD for this. Wait, what is that? Segi. Oh, okay, no, okay, it is the banner. Japanese words for justice. Segi no Mikata. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. His calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Don't look at me like that. Even though you stowed away on this ship? Hey, he told me to. Are you gonna bring that up, are you? Can't win. Have I done everything besides talk to the Russian guy? Oh, the lock, of course. When I went for help, the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. Quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy. Slides across to secure the door shut. Still, with the door bolted, there's no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's possible when they broke down the door, the bolt was already broken and something was blocking it, like with all the stuff thrown around, you know? Well, they would have noticed that. She glares at me like that. You'll tense all up and down my spine. I'm reading what's in a detective novel. Colbert used a needle and thread. Oh, come on. To draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. The door to this cabin and its frame are made of metal. They seal together perfectly. I remember I've seen a clip from an anime. It was, I don't know what it was. It was probably Detective Conan. Because, you know, Conan's done everything. Someone used a needle and a thread to put a key in a dead guy's pocket from outside the locked room. I don't know what it was from. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. But are the doors like airtight? She glares at me like that. With pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there. Wait, oh my god. Oh my, it's him. I was kind of wondering, like, if Schmalms is gonna be, you know, the detective guy. You know, what's gonna happen to the Japanese detective? Of course. He got a part-time job on the ship. The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Because I'm likely to get yelled at again. That was a good try. First off, that's everything, right? I think it is. Except for let's talk to the guy who was here first. He's probably just gonna yell at us. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigate a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. I don't know how to do a Russian accent. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Yet. You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it's up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. There's no point trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. Okay, let's... Is something wrong on your Hodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir? Yes? What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. I guess he did the sound effect for me. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Nearly stopped? I hope? Received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. Never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. How far into the video are we? 35. Okay, let's talk to him. Probably get out of this room. Special orders. What are your special orders this time, Inspector? So why are you dressed up as a member of the crew? Because he is a member of the crew. So sorry. I mean, there's a guy right next to him. He can't, you know. This is all my fault. Take full responsibility. For what? My orders were, this is act as Asogi's bodyguard. Is that Kazuma's last name? Yes, okay. It was Minister of Justice Jikoku who pushed for this overseas study toward a go-ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even be a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jikoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace! All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Permission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. Thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not. Really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. You moved to even touch the handle of the cabin door. That stormy looking seaman there will surely snap your neck in two. Hey, come on, I've dealt with a Susato takedown before. 4 times now, I think. I'm gonna handle that. Suppose it's just a stowaway now. I think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm gonna need something persuasive. What do you mean? I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example. I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how... Do we have evidence? Maybe a way. We have his, his diary. What? Really? Think of how you try to persuade me if you're innocent. Like presenting me with a piece of yes. Evidence. Yes. We're on the second case now. We don't. Well, I mean, I guess it's our first investigation, but still, we don't need the tutorial. This ain't my first rodeo. Alright, yes, I think I might know what we can use. If we could present the yeah. Court record. We go back? Present, yeah, okay. R. What's that? Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? What way? Oh, I think this song. Here you go. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? That is strange. We're still trying to work out what he meant by that. What I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins in the next door cabin. That's great. You can investigate in there. You might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. Can't leave this cabin at the moment. Stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. How's he gonna convince the Russian guy? Really? Willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin here. Afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, be able to keep Asogi-san safe. It's the least I can do. Thank you. Seize the moment then, Naruhodo. Just look, move, and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Okay, we go to the passageway first, and then the room. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. We're still got at least some of the investigation left. Probably a lot. Like, I'd say we're probably only half done, if that. Jeez, it's long. The court parts are always more fun than the investigation parts, right? I'll see you guys next time with some more Ace Attorney. Bye.